The Indiana Fever came into their first game of the 2025 season with one thing on their minds: revenge. After a bitter incident in August 2024, when Caitlin Clark was the target of an intentional body check by Skylar Diggins during the Fever's blowout win over the Seattle Storm, the Fever players had unfinished business to attend to. The attack on their star player had fired up not only Clark, but the entire Fever team. The memory of that moment, where the Storm seemed to try and physically intimidate Clark, remained fresh in their minds, and they were looking forward to the day they could return the favor. This time, however, there was no one player to rely on. Instead, the Fever showed that they were much more than a one-player team. When Clark struggled with her shooting and had a rare off night, her teammates stepped up and turned what could have been a loss into one of the most satisfying victories of the season. Caitlin Clark, the Fever's star rookie, is the heart and soul of the team, and throughout the 2025 season, she had been playing at an MVP level. However, in this matchup against the Storm, things didn't go according to plan. Clark was having her worst shooting performance of the year. From the very first shot, it was clear that something was off with her mechanics. She was missing shots she normally makes with ease, and the frustration was evident. By the time the fourth quarter rolled around, Clark had managed only 6 points, which was a far cry from her usual output. For many teams, having their star players struggle so dramatically would be the beginning of a collapse. Before the Fever, this game turned into an opportunity for other players to rise to the occasion and prove that they were more than just Caitlin Clark's supporting cast. Aliyah Boston, Lexie Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell each took it upon themselves to lead their team, putting together one of the most remarkable performances in recent memory. In the past, the big question hanging over the Indiana Fever was, who will step up when Caitlin Clark isn't playing at her best? Clark had carried the team for much of the season, but her struggles in this game raised doubts among fans and analysts alike about whether the Fever could win without her putting up big numbers. But what fans didn't expect was how Aliyah Boston, Lexie Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell would answer the call. Boston, known for her powerful and versatile play, took over in ways that nobody saw coming. She attacked the rim with unmatched aggression, displaying a level of confidence and skill that had fans on their feet. Whether it was a mid-range jumper or finishing strong at the rim, Boston made her presence felt at every turn. The Storm had no answer for her, and it was clear that Boston was determined to make sure the Fever would win this game, no matter what. Meanwhile, Lexie Hull, who had been quietly improving over the course of the season, stepped up in a big way. Hull was everywhere on the court, diving for loose balls, fighting for rebounds, and doing the gritty work that often goes unnoticed. But make no mistake, Hull's contributions weren't just about hustle. She grabbed 11 rebounds, which was a career high, and the first double-double of her career. Against a much taller Seattle team, Hull's effort on the glass was a key factor in the Fever's dominance. Her tenacity and work ethic were contagious, inspiring her teammates to match her intensity. Whether it was making a crucial steal or grabbing a tough rebound, Hull was playing like a player who understood the importance of this game not just for herself, but for the entire team. As for Kelsey Mitchell, she took the responsibility of scoring when the team needed it most. Mitchell, known for her perimeter shooting, got hot from deep, hitting big three-pointers that helped keep the Fever in control of the game. Her shooting was timely and crucial, as she knocked down shots that eventually helped break the game wide open. As Clark struggled to find her rhythm, Mitchell became the offensive spark the team needed. What made her performance even more impressive was the confidence she showed. When stepping into big moments, Mitchell wasn't just hitting shots, she was stepping up with a mentality that showed she was ready to take over. The combination of Boston, Hull, and Mitchell meant that, despite Clark's struggles, the Fever were firing on all cylinders and making history in the process. The context of this game made it even more special. This was not just another regular season win for the Fever, it was revenge, pure and simple. The Storm had bullied Clark in their previous meeting, trying to intimidate her physically with the body check from Diggins. But this time, the Fever showed the Storm they weren't going to back down. This wasn't the same Indiana team that struggled in the past. This team had learned from its experiences, and it wasn't about to let one player's struggles define their game. The narrative around the Storm, especially after the incident with Diggins, had shifted. They were no longer seen as the underdog fighters. They had become the bullies of the league, targeting rookies and trying to push them around. But the Fever wasn't having any of it. They came into this game with one goal: to show Seattle and the rest of the league that they weren't a team to be bullied anymore. What made this game even more remarkable was how the Fever responded when their star player struggled. Last season, when Clark had an off night, the team might have faltered, but not this year. Instead of folding, the Fever rallied around each other and showed that they were a true team. Boston was dominant in ways that no one had expected. Hull was a beast on the boards, and Mitchell was hitting clutch shots. These three players carried the team to victory, and in doing so, they proved that the Fever were no longer reliant on just one player. The team had evolved, and it was clear that they were not just a one-player show anymore. The message was sent loud and clear to Seattle and the rest of the league. The Fever were here to compete, and they weren't going anywhere. As the game wound down and the Fever secured the victory, the satisfaction of revenge was palpable. This wasn't just about getting a win, it was about standing up for their star player, showing that the Storm's tactics wouldn't work against them anymore. It was about showing the world that the Fever had grown into a team capable of winning big games, even when things weren't going their way. For Aliyah Boston, Lexie Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell, this game would go down as one of their most defining moments. They stepped up when their team needed them, and in doing so, they helped build a new identity for the Indiana Fever. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. It was a statement that the Fever had arrived, and they were ready to take on any challenge that came their way. This game also served as a wake-up call for the rest of the league. If there was any doubt about the Fever's resilience and ability to step up when it mattered most, those doubts were erased in this game. The performance of Aliyah Boston, Lexie Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell showed that this team was different than the one we saw last season. The players were no longer waiting for Clark to carry the load. They were ready to carry it themselves. This was the Fever's time to prove they were more than just a team with a star player. They were a team with a deep roster, a team that could compete and win no matter who was playing well. As they continue their journey through the season, the Indiana Fever have shown that they're ready to be one of the top teams in the league. Their win against the Seattle Storm was just the beginning, and they're only getting started.